Today you are going to learn a very interesting system with the black pieces in order to win white's first move e4. And at the end of this video I'm going to show you how to play with white pieces and all variations. So without further ado, let's dive in. After that we can continue with the move d5, and by the way I have a very interesting article, very detailed article about the Scandinavian Defense, and you are very welcome to click the link below of that video in order to read this one and learn many things. So now we have pawn takes, knight there. Black usually here has two moves. One of them is to capture with the queen and the other one is to develop the knight and capture in the center of the board with the knight. White have some moves here, we're going to see more later, but one of the most popular here is the move d4, because he is liberating all of his pieces and say, okay, you can capture the pawn back and I'm going to develop my pieces, right? But here's the trick, because we can play the move c6 and we would like to take there with the pawn maybe, or to do other things, and inviting white to capture this one. And after pawn takes, which is another very common move here, we have another very tricky move. I think you never seen it before, and the game is this move is e5, Kadas Gambit. Kadas Gambit. And you can say, okay, black is crazy, what are you doing? You're just sacrificing 3 pawns like that, and after this you are going to exchange queens, because usually on gambits we would like to sacrifice a pawn in order to create an attack, right? And this is the point actually, because black sacrificed these 3 pawns and now he start attacking white. And the first game that I found played in this particular line was 1991 with 2 amateur players, and here he is threatening actually to take on f2, attacking both king and rook, and white has to defend about that. So we have knight h3, and after knight takes here, black has enough compensation, believe it or not, because white has two pawns actually for his black sacrificed 2 pawns, but black developed his pieces very nicely. Now he is threatening this one, and one of the main problems is this king, because this king is in the center of the board, harming white's development, and white cannot really connect the rooks. This is the main point, and if we cannot connect the rooks, how are you going to develop them, right? It's problematic to develop the rooks. And now he just played this one and knight takes. In the next game I'm going to show you how to play this line, bishop to c5, because one player did it. And now pawn takes, and you can see we have only 1 pawn down, and white played this move here, this not good move, rook to e1. This is a mistake. I'm going to create another video how to create threats actually and how to attack, because if you don't have sound position then you cannot easily attack your opponent, and we are going to see how the attack developed with black pieces. Here it's necessary for white to play something like that, and after this to play knight d2 in order to develop a little bit his pieces, to free his pieces. It was extremely important. Instead of that he just played rook to e1, and an error. Very important error, because he's just threatening the knight, but after bishop to g4 check he has problems with the king. What to do now? During the game he just played bishop e2, but very interesting here to learn is f3, because it looks so natural, right? He's attacking the bishop right now, he's attacking the bishop and he has to do something, but we have long castling, ignoring this threat actually, because we are giving a better threat against the enemy king. And after this, now we have 2 good moves. The first move that comes into your mind is this one, it's okay, but we also have knight takes, because we're eliminating the threat of capturing the bishop, and after this we can take now the knight, keeping the bishop on the board. And now after this we can put the knight there in the center of the board, attacking this pawn, hitting a little bit the bishop. The problem, white has problems, and after that we can continue attacking this pawn, and black has fantastic position, and it's close to winning actually. Let's go back, because this is one variation, and during the game he just played bishop e2 back. Again we have long castling, he played this one, and now h5 is very interesting option, but during the game he played this one, bishop to c5, developing the pieces. And if you have a sound position you will have more than 1 good moves, right? More than one, and everything is just playable here. So he played the knight there in order to create a counter-attack, maybe to do something active with this, and now we have a lot of exchanges. He captures there, take this, take the rook, take there, taking this one, taking the bishop with check, taking this one, and king takes there. The final move is this. Now we can see the continuation, and now black played this one. He has some threats here. He can take the pawn actually, but why to capture the pawn? We would like to take more pieces, and he did it in one side. He played there in order to create knight f2. Wrong errors. He would like to play knight f2 in order to capture previously the king on rook, and now he is doing this in the other side of the board. Again the same trick, and you can see the tactics. If you learn them by heart, you can use them again and again and again. So we have knight a3, a check here, king there, another check, king c1, another check. King has to go inside, and now we have the very strong move rook to d8, because we are attacking that bishop, and if this bishop goes away somewhere, we have a powerful rook d1 move, and white has problems. What to do actually now? After bishop to c1, we can pin that bishop, and we're going to pin this bishop for free. Not every attack will end into the checkmate. We can win material and the game later. During this game he played knight c4 in order to protect the bishop, and we have this removing the defender tactic. The knight has to go away, and after that we are going to win the bishop. The second game that I found, we have again the same opening moves, and you can see we started with different move order. I'm going to explain later how to play this one. And now he played knight to f6. We have this one, and now e5, our gambit. He just takes, and knight g4, threatening this fork here. And after knight out, we have development with capturing a pawn, and after this, in this game he played bishop to c5. Previously we just seen this move, right? And rook e1, the error. And after that, here white was extremely greedy actually. He just captured 2 pawns, and he would like more pawns. He would like more to do. And he played f4, error, mistake, because he didn't develop his pieces, and you should not play like that in the opening. It was little better to play this one. Again, black is better here. He's going to take some pieces, some pawns back, and he's continue having very nice activity actually. It's very difficult to play with white, but it was preferable because he just played like this, and now we have bishop out, bishop here takes, and now he played another ambitious move actually, another greedy move. It's obvious that black is going to castle in queen side, and he's going to move the king, right? It's obvious. But after these developments, long castling and rook e1, this pawn will fall. And for that reason, he played here c3, losing time in development actually. And now after this check, castling and check, king e2, we have a fantastic move here with black pieces. You are very welcome to pause the video and try to think. It's black's turn. And he played this amazing move, knight takes to e5, amazing move, outstanding. And here he cannot really take, because if he just take like that, we have a checkmate in 2 moves. You are welcome to pause the video, think about that, and write it in the comments below, how to perform the checkmate in 2 moves. And here actually he didn't capture that knight, he played this one, and we have another clever move. He can play something like that, it's totally fine to play this one, but he played another smart move, knight c4. And the idea after knight takes, it wasn't to give a check on d3, which is totally perfectly playable actually. We're going to win material here, to collect some material back and continue attacking the enemy king, but we have this check actually, and after this we have a checkmate. So let's move back. After b4 here, he's attacking the bishop. He played this intermediate check, attacking the king, and king, if he goes on d1, here we have checkmate in 8 moves, but it's not necessary to calculate the checkmate. If you just give this check, the king has to go on the e file, and after that we can collect more material, and everything is over, right? There is no need to calculate mate in 8. And after this, it's a final move, because we can perform checkmate in 1 move. And this is rook d3, checkmate. And now let's see the final game actually played in 2017. The first game I show you was 1991, the second one is 2007, and this is not very recently, but from 2017. Not very long time ago. And after this we have c6 here, he captures, and now e5 again, our opening, he played bishop to e3. White player had approximately 1400 elo player feeder rating, and black we have a 1900 elo player. And here you can see white is playing wisely, he is not capturing the pawn, but he would like to develop his pieces. He played this one, and after knight takes, and he has to develop actually. Knight f3 was the best move, but he played c3. It's not the best move because we have a lot of exchanges here on d4, and finally this check. He covered that check, and now let's evaluate the position. White has a pawn up, he don't have huge problems against with his king actually, but this pawn on d4 is isolated, and black has very nice development here, very nice development. And after short castling he played a3. Another mistake, the ear. You should not play ears like this. I already talked about that on my training program, because if you just play this moves, you are going to lose time from your development. And now we have a check, and after this takes, and knight to d5. The idea here is to capture the pawn and play knight to a4 in order to attack the bishop, increasing the pressure. So he played this one and knight f4. If your opponent starts playing these moves, he's going to take the initiative, and then it's very difficult to recover actually. You need to find unique moves or very difficult moves. Now he's not threatening only to take there, but he's threatening g2 as well. So we have this king there, takes, and bishop to e6, and here white relaxed, I can say, because he said, okay, what are you going to do actually? Maybe you are going to put the bishop there and attacking this pawn, so my only task is to connect my rooks. And during the game he played this error, this mistake, c3, and we're going to see about that, but the best move was to play this one in order to develop the king side a little later. And why this is a mistake? Because after this we're attacking, you can see, we're attacking the enemy pieces. He has to play this one, and now it came a tactical blow actually. Tactical blow, and I hope you are able to see these blows. And the blows is rook takes c2, and after this we just pin there, and white is losing the game actually, because he is going to lose material. Tactics is one of the most, if not the most important part of the games. Your plan could be successful if you use the tactics correctly, and the tactics can be accelerator to your plan. With Grandmaster Stelios Chalkias, we created this amazing chess course here on tactics and calculation, and you can read the description. We have a lot of lessons and 100 exercises there. If you follow the blog post, then you can read more about Stelios' life. You are welcome to click the link below the video and learn more. So we are inside my computer now. I'm going on repertoire, and after that I'm going to click E4 repertoire. We have different lines there, and after that Scandinavian, and I'm going to click this one. So you are going to see the files inside my Scandinavian Defense, and after that we have finally this file. What to do now actually? We can play the move e4, and I'm flipping the board in order to see these lines actually, and after that he can play the Scandinavian Defense. We can take this one, and here he can play this gambit with c6. We have three good options here. You can transpose this position into the Caro-Kann as you were going to see, or you can just capture that pawn. He is going to recapture with a knight, I think there, and your next move is knight to f3. The idea behind this move is to develop the bishop, castling king side, and you have one pawn, right? And you have very solid development. After this e5, you can play here bishop to b5, or knight c3 is a very nice move as well. Bishop to b5, and you are threatening this pawn. He has only one good move, because if you try to do different crazy things like that, you are going to take the pawn, another pawn actually. If he goes here, you can take the pawn as well, or if he just pulls the pawn forward, this is not good because you can develop the queen. And you can see we just developed first of all the bishop, and now the queen is threatening the pawn. He don't have good moves here. For example, he can try to protect this one. We can play knight d4 attacking on c6. to create some tricks there, to attack the king and the rook, and after that we can take. He is going to take probably with the pawn because he would like to keep some pieces on the board. If he just exchanges with the pieces, with the bishop we can exchange pieces and he has weaknesses. So we can play here, he can play something like that, knight to c3, and now he has real problems because he cannot really develop his pieces. He don't have this activity, as you can see. He cannot move the bishop because this pawn is hanging with check. And what to do? Maybe to do something like that, castling there, and rook again on e1. We are threatening this pawn. He has difficulties to protect this one, and here white has a clear advantage or close to winning position. This is the first line to accept the gambit actually. Very good for us, and you have two other moves. One of them is c4, try to play the Caro-Kann, and after knight there we have knight to c3. He can take this pawn sooner or later, and after this we can play d4, and now we transpose to Panov attack of the Caro-Kann. This is another line. Or if you don't play this Panov attack on Caro-Kann defense, you can choose something else, and after this you can play the move d4. I have it as an explanation mark on my computer because I used to play this line, and after this he's going to take sooner or later, or later, right? And after this you can play bishop to d3, and you have the exchange variation on the Caro-Kann defense. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Here it's time for action. This is the initial page of my website, and here you can click Give me access to get access to free lessons. You can read this page, and if you scroll down, here you can add your name and your email. After that, you're going to take a free lesson how to avoid chess blunders. So, time for action is now, and you're very welcome to join my mail list.